Here I am back in the Buick recording a sports show for the second time this winter. My second sports show overall of the winter was recorded here back on December 6th after being inspired by a younger member of our varsity boys basketball team, member of the C Squad team. And today there was a lot of inspiration throughout the day, too much to list all in a list. But I'm going to go to the end of our evening when senior Zach Shandorf made his first varsity field goal of his career. He's one of the 7 seniors on our boys basketball team. I remember when he joined the team to start the year, and he was very, very excited to do that. And I made sure to list him with the team, even though he missed the day I got the picture of the seniors. I listed him as not pictured, and he stuck with it, and it was so overjoyed to make that shot. But I had a front row seat to this. As I explained a few weeks ago, I am one of the most privileged journalists and newspaper owners on the planet to have a front row seat to the greatest show on earth, which is the community that I live in, the community that I have, that my family lives in. My children go to school here. This is the greatest show on earth that I call Jaguar Country. And I was there at the end of the bench, knowing as our boys basketball team had a big lead. We were inside 4 minutes left, and I'll never forget, there was 3 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock, and Coach Anderson looked down the bench to his last player who hadn't got on the floor. He said to Zach, "Are you ready?" And Zach was kind of hunched over. He was a little nervous, but all of his teammates were all rooting for him and giving him words of encouragement. And it was very special to see that. It was a you had to be there moment. And he hadn't gotten in yet. He hadn't even checked in. He hadn't even gotten off the bench, in fact. He was nervous. And I provided a few words of encouragement, but nothing like what his teammates gave. And by now, if you know how a game went, by now it was actually the top rotation who was there at the end of the bench. So we're talking the top of the rotation was there at the end of the bench was Zach, while other members of basically the JV team was out on the court. As we're in mercy time, mercy rule, the clock's running, and it's going to run all the way to the end. It'll only stop at about 10 seconds left if someone's at the free throw line. Otherwise, that clock will run straight through. So the top of our rotation of our top 10 boys basketball team is sitting down there encouraging Zach and giving him some pointers. And I knew he was going to get on the court, so I ran and got my video camera, and by the time I got back, he had gotten to the scoring table, had checked in, and I started doing my thing, taking pictures and video, and he got in, and we went up and down the court a couple different times, and all of his teammates kept feeding him the basket, and he started taking some shots, and he missed them. He missed a few. Maple Lake rebounded, and Maple Lake's players started passing him the ball. And I don't think anyone kept track, and it didn't matter. Zach kept putting up a few more shots, and he got a little closer to the basket because as you get closer, your shooting percentage goes up, right? And he finally made the basket, and everyone in the gym was cheering. And you'll see video of this at some point on my blog. But that was a very special moment. I actually witnessed something pretty similar to that. Would have been 4 years ago. 4 years ago when our oldest, my stepson Aspen, was checked in late in the game and made a basket, and the whole crowd cheered. And I'll never forget our student section cheering. And tonight was just like that. And those are moments that kids will never forget. And I told Zach that when he was going in. I said, you'll never forget this night. And it's true. And none of us, the rest of us, will ever forget this night. It was fun. Before the game started, the students sang happy birthday to a member of the C Squad girls basketball team. And then they sang happy birthday to one of the seniors on the boys basketball team, a different senior. That would be Tanner Shelton. So it's really great to see all this support in our student body. I go back to, as I said in the paper a few weeks ago, how this is the greatest show on earth. We're living in it right now. I live here. I work here. My family lives here. My kids go to school here. Jaguar country, the greatest show on earth. After the varsity game, a lot of picture taking, and Abby Berge was hanging around. I had interviewed her during the first half of the boys' game. She eclipsed 1,000 career points. She ended tonight with 1,032 career points. We are at 10 games in the girls' basketball season. They have 15 regular season games left and hopefully many, many playoff games. So we're only roughly a third of the way through her senior year. Anyway, after that boys' game, Caden Piper, another 1,000-point scorer, and actually by now a lot of the gym had cleared out. Caden and Abby made the point to take a picture with Zach. And Abby had her posters, and that was also very special for me to see. You know, these are two of the most popular kids in our school, and I'm talking about Caden and Abby, and certainly they're both kids with college basketball aspirations. Within a few weeks, we probably will hear where they both have chosen to go. And there they were, making Zach feel like a rock star. Because he is. You know, he is. All of our kids are. Because they go to school here. If you follow me here, if you're following what I'm saying, this is the greatest show on earth. So it's a privilege to have your kids go here. This is a special place. And I didn't know all that I was getting into today. I didn't know what I was going to take in. I didn't know how any of this day would develop. But it ended up being a very special day. Our girls A, B, and C squad won. Our boys C squad and our boys varsity team won. And then the wrestlers had a big tournament win down in Paynesville, where I actually started my afternoon and spent time down there. So we have all these wins and the going in the scoring book, and that's great and that's wonderful. But our basketball program, and all the way from Coach Anderson on down, the coaching staff and the team and the student body, provided Mr. Zach Schandorf a win that he will never forget. And that was, to me, the most special win of the day. And I am so honored and privileged to have a front row seat to this. What I call Jaguar Country, the greatest show on earth.